Well, I'm live. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome into the David Paisano Show. I'm here tonight, just waiting and counting down the Fennboree. I'm wondering, a week from today, will that Ben Apple treasure chest be found? Will people still be scurrying about out in the Pecos wilderness looking for that prize? I don't know. It's only a week away, and I will be heading out to the Fennboree. So, don't know when that's going to be found. So, how do you like my new Mountain Man hat? How do you like my new Mountain Man hat? You know, I'm a man of many hats, right? So this happens to be the old Mountain Man hat. I bought it at an auction. I don't know. Let's see. What was it? Friday night, I guess it was. I bought that. Uh, well, Ben is supposedly going to make the treasure quest so easy that by Saturday night somebody will have found it. But then again, he's threatened to just take it home if nobody finds it. So who knows? But anyway, I bid on a few things at an auction last night. I There's one thing that really is bad, and that is when you start drinking and you have your browser open to an online auction and you've got to go, let's say, 50 miles to go pick up something, and you've already bought one item. So you're going to be making that trip to pick up that one item 50 miles away. Well, sadly, then you start bidding on all the rest of the auction because you don't want to waste a trip just to go get one item, right? So anyway, I got this hat. I got like a couple other hats. I got a couple other hats with this hat, if you will. Now I realize this isn't like mildew. I mean, I realize this isn't the mildew hat. And I also got the thing that you can use to shape the hat. It's like that little wooden round thing that you use to shape hats. And um, I don't know what this hat makes me look like. It's one of those, really tall hats, if you will. I guess if I was a cat, I might look like a cartoon character of some sort. I probably look like with my black shirt on, I probably look like the guy that's the Undertaker in an old west town. So I've just kind of got to go through the list of things that I bought at this auction after I bought one thing, and I got so tipsy I decided to start buying some more stuff. So I bought like a couple of bench grinders. I ended up buying a bunch of uh, outlets and sockets and stuff that were in a box for like $1. I was going to buy about 6 bicycles. I was the high bidder at $1, but somebody else bid $2, and I already had a pickup load, so I didn't bid. I didn't bid $3 to get like 5 bicycles, and two of these bicycles were actually the 1950s style wide frame, and a couple of them were like the Olympic style thin tire racing bikes. So none of them had any good tires. I bought a bike one time and I learned my lesson. I bet a guy $20 I could ride the bicycle back to my car. Well, this guy apparently knows that if you try to ride a bicycle with a flat tire on a rim and the rim has been sitting for a while, the front thing is just going to collapse where it rusted. So I started off, I made a good 10, 15 feet, and the whole front tire buckled on the bicycle because it was flat. And the rim just kind of bent over, and I looked at the guy and I said, "Well, I guess I'll give you the $20 now." So I learned my lesson there on betting people about riding a bicycle or flat tire off at an auction. So anyway, I think there's 4 of these hats, if you will, different styles, all mountain man hats, and this is one of them. And then I bought an Indian made India, as in the country, made leather jacket. Now, I may need to take this auction company to task because they advertise this as a leather jacket. and I think it was made in India, and it's probably a pleather jacket. But I left it out in the shop because I got to let it air out. It smelled a little swarthy, a little mothy, if you will. And so I just left it out there. Um, I bought a couple of coolers for like $3. Um, anyway, I was in the bargain bin, $3, $2, $1 buying mood of about anything that was that price, and I was the high bidder on. So my big luxury items are these hats, which I think I spent like $25 on these five hats, and then I think I bought, I think I paid $20 for for a flint knapping kit. In other words, it's some of the tools and actually some stones that you could knap out, if you will. So I now have some knapping stones. I now have some knapping tools, and I now have a book that tells me every arrowhead and every place where you could get the chert in order to make arrowheads. So this winter, I'm going to study the book and watch some videos and see if I can actually knap out an arrowhead. And this is my honoring Forrest Fenn and Forrest Fenn's memory, since he, talked about his first arrowhead so much. And ironically, I took Arrowhead Road in order to get to the place today. Oh, I've just got, and I could have bought some. This guy was selling bows and arrows, and I could have bought a whole bunch of stuff. So it was like a mountain man kind of auction where he had bows and arrows, flint, knapping tools, these hats, a black jacket that you would, a leather jacket that you would wear to one of these things. He even had a double-breasted leather jacket, and I quit bidding. I should have bought the really long double-breasted leather jacket like they used to wear, in the old West. Tombstone. How many times have you seen the guy fling open the doors, right, to the saloon, and he's wearing a big long leather jacket that goes down to just above his knees, double-breasted, maybe a hat like this, and and anyway, just doing the mountain man thing. Okay, so if Ben Apple's listening, so one of the things they had on the auction is they had a double burner camp uh, camp chef camp chef portable propane grill, and it didn't look like it was in too bad a shape. It kind of folds up, the legs come off of it, it's easy to carry, that kind of thing. And so I go, well, I guess I'll buy that, take it to Fennboree. If they don't have enough of these cookers already, I'll at least have another propane grill there. And I tested it out tonight, and I was able to get the char pretty good. I mean, this one's a little burnt on the hot dog, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty seasoned, and it worked. So I'll probably bring that to Fennboree, but I won't be arriving until after lunch on Friday on the first day. So don't expect to be able to use it for lunch because I probably won't be there by lunch. But I did order, and hopefully I'll get a new grill slab for it. In other words, it basically has two propane burners, and then on the top it has a grill, and then on the other side it has a thing that has a drip well and that kind of thing. Well, I ordered a new slab for the grill side that was reversible. Hopefully, it comes in by Wednesday from Amazon, and then I'll have a new cooking surface at least for half of it. But I used it tonight, and it seemed to work. So I'll be bringing that out since the fire restrictions are going on. Unfortunately, the igniter doesn't work quite the way it should, and it's kind of old, but it does put out a good flame, and it's well seasoned. The taste was pretty good on the stuff I cooked. A couple hamburgers, some hot dogs tonight. So anyway, I'll be bringing that out to Fennboree. So uh, you know, I think you could actually grill, bacon and eggs on the other side. of the griddle, if you will. Uh, so that I think I paid like $30 for that. It didn't have a propane tank, but I had some propane. So $30 for a chef, something camp chef, uh, you know, uh, stove or whatever what you call it. Uh, so I thought that was a pretty good deal. And my hats. So I think in all total I spent about $180 on all these different things and uh, the napping stones and the hats and the big ticket items kind of added up pretty fast. Uh, uh, you all turned on Lord Mario. Oh, is Mario on now that I came on? All right, well, let's see if we can do a top five tonight. Uh, Captain Kidd. Oh, this is a better show than the other options. There's other options right now. Uh, Captain likes the hat. Uh, uh, the Monopoly guy. Well, we might as well just keep putting your suggestions in the chat as to what I can do with this hat. It's got the little brim on it. But yeah, a cane. I'd need a cane. I'd probably need a cane to go with that to be the Monopoly guy. You're right. There's Jeff, number two. Zozo comes in number three. And Steve's number four. Sophia comes in number five. That hat reminds me of the one Chaos doll the Chaos doll wore. Other than the Chaos doll, one seemed to have room for a name. Yeah, so we had embroidery and chaos. So when are we going to get embroidery? I'm just wondering when we're going to get embroidery. Okay, so one vote's for the Monopoly guy. Another vote is for chaos. And Jeff thinks that I'm just wearing this hat so I can pull a rabbit out of it later. It is a pretty big hat. I could probably keep a bunch of rabbits in it. Looks like Trusted Living's here now. Well, I need an ace card in the brim. We'll play a little Indian poker tonight. Put your cards in there. We'll play a little Indian poker. Yeah. So I'm kind of worried that these hats are going to itch a little bit when at least I'm wearing a black shirt so it matches the black band there. Maybe if I put a feather in my hat, I could call it macaroni. Yankee Doodle went to London riding on a pony. Put a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Does anybody remember singing that as a childhood song? Hey, MJ's loving this top hat. But anyway, I'm trying to get feedback on who I look like wearing this hat now. Oh, MJ doesn't like the. Kid says I look like Frosty the Snowman. Give me a corn cob pipe and a carrot for a nose, and I think you might be right. Give me a corn cob pipe. That's pretty good. I like that. Oh man, that would work out pretty good with the old and some coal for a button or something like that. Yeah, that actually would work pretty good. Oh man. I feel like there's got to be one more character in there that makes a lot of sense for this hat. But like I said, I feel like I'm. Oh, honestly, if I grew a beard out, I could be an Amish guy, or a Hasidic, not a Hasidic Jew. What are those Jewish people that are in New York that are really devout Jewish person? I'm thinking I could be one of those really devout Jewish people or an Amish guy. What was that movie where somebody hid somebody and that was an Amish community? I could be that guy. Oh, Tim's got one. Abraham Lincoln. That's a good one. Honest Abe. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I like that one. But Lincoln. Okay. Let me try this. Now I probably look even more like Lincoln because people. Abraham Lincoln never lived long enough and has never been pictured with glasses, right? Because he didn't live that long. You know. Um, if I want to move into the gangster period of, let's say, the 19 or during the Prohibition days, does anybody getting a little bit of feel of a mobster with this hat? Anybody get a mobster? Like a Chicago mobster feel? Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of thing. Anybody gonna go for the Who Framed Roger Rabbit kind of deal? Uh, Maybe we could do some Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, some jazz club hat. Trusted Living thinks I look like J.P. Morgan. Oh, a railroad baron, somebody from the railroad days. Oh yeah, that is very very on point right there. Somebody from the railroad era. Mm-hmm. Yep. A witness. Jeff's got the movie I'm thinking of. It's called Witness. Uh, it was the barn building show. That's right. You've got that one right. Sophia says that something's been rather obvious for years. Captain Kidd says, I hope Barbara finds the chest at Fennboree. Is Barbara confirmed to be at the Fennboree? Is she seriously confirmed to be there? Uh, Zozo's feeling that I'm a 19th century Dave. Oh, so like in a Back to the Future kind of movie way, I went back in time. I am now a character from Back to the Future. I'll take it. I like that. Yeah, I'll take that one. Is MJ saying yeah that Barbara's going to be at Fenboree, or saying yay for another reason? Inquiring minds want to know. Zozo's liking the New York style gangs. I was thinking Al Capone. I was thinking maybe a little Al Capone. Dillinger? Anybody want to go for a Dillinger vibe? Uh, Kiwi says, what? Back to the Future? Nice top hat. Yeah, Kiwi, if you're just joining in, J.K. Pioneer says that Barbara is confirmed to be delusional. Yeah. Oh, the kids got another suggestion. Fred Astaire. Bust out some dance moves. Jazz hands. Yeah, jazz hands. Um, Now you're gonna have me singing a song. Oh, if I could actually stand up and dance, that'd be hilarious right now. If I would get on the bed and do a full choreographed show, man, I might actually have a real tube show or a real YouTube show then. Well, there's that. Oh, P.T. Barnum. Yes, P.T. Barnum. That could be another part of the look. The old P.T. Barnum. Zoza's going for the young Frankenstein. The young Frankenstein. Oh, oh. Well, some people don't have any sanity to lose. No. MJ says, has anyone been in two worlds at one time? Oh, Slash! That's a good one. The bunghole came up with another. Slash's hat, I think, was even taller, though. Oh, I got it. Remember the country western band Big and Rich? You remember the band Big and Rich? Remember there was a guy in the taller guy in Big and Rich has a video where he's wearing one of these really high hats like this. And JK says, "Oh, I'm putting on the Ritz." That is actually I actually did that song well enough that you could recognize it as putting on the Ritz. Dang, my impressions are getting better. My musical impressions are actually getting better. Oh, well, good Shiloh. Good Shiloh to you as well. Yeah, that was what I was going for, was putting on the Ritz. Oh, but the fact that you actually recognized it means I must not have done it terribly bad. Oh, yeah. Mm. I'd love to, man. I actually would love to see Barbara at Fennboree. I don't dislike Barbara. I mean, she did things that put this whole treasure thing in jeopardy. Uh, but we can't just jump on people and you know, or we can. If she shows up, we'd have dog pile. We could settle this like a couple of kids in the uh, in the yard at recess. Well, did you hear? There's some states that are opting to make sure that the school districts have more recess and even longer recess. Is this such a good idea? Do those parents, maybe those parents didn't grow up with recess? So here's the problem. We now have some parents out there who probably went to school and they didn't have recess when they went to school. And now they think they need to bring recess back. But if you're like the first of the Generation Xers and the last of the baby boomers, and you're familiar with what recess really is, and the social lessons and the pecking order and the social groups and the Melvins and the swirlies and all these kinds of things, maybe some of these younger people, parents who want to bring back recess, might want to rethink that. A lot of things happened at recess. You're right. A lot of life lessons are learned at recess. But many of them don't involve participation ribbons. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. Zozo says, putting on the Ritz is what tagged me to say Young Frankenstein. Oh, love that scene. Oh, well, I guess I didn't see that. JK says that we are all beneath Pataka and what's going on there. Me, me Pataka, Su Pataka. One of the definitions of Pataka is buttocks. Oh, street, Bill. You guys get so excited about somebody's ass. Yeah. I thought one of the what I don't know. There's several word meanings for pataka. Uh, Zozo's way above Barb. She doesn't deserve anything but jail time for trying to extort the Fenn family. Uh, yeah. We could put her in the Huskow. Actually, I mean it'd be easy because I am the guy that runs the Monopoly game. So no get out of jail free card there at all. Um, uh, Yappy. Well, we've had so much fun with this hat. It's time to move on to the next hat. All right, folks, welcome back to the David Paisano Show. I'm not sure if I should wear this like this or how I should actually wear this. But so this is the second in the line of hats, and the other two hats are basically variation colors on this hat that I'm wearing right now. And so they're not much different than this one. This is the gray, there's a black and a beige. So now we can play the game again. Who does this hat make me look like? And I'm not sure what this little thing is over here. Oh, wrong side. I'm not sure what this is here, or whether that's supposed to be the back or what. So if I took the hat off, if I took the hat off, I could obviously be the Karate Kid, right? With just the bandana. So like the bandana is pretty much just wax on, wax off with just the bandana. So here we go. So this hat with the ghost of Fenn would be interesting. Now, you may remember the videos that Desert File put out. I think Desert File may have a few of these hats that look like this because he was wearing a hat like this, looked pretty darn similar, familiar to me in one of those videos, right? And so there's that. Now, if I put a few feathers in here, I could do that. You remember when Forrest Fenn was wearing that bandana around his neck when he was out searching for one of those lost searchers on the helicopter? So maybe it's an homage to Forrest Fenn's wearing a red bandana on that. Um, Anybody want to give me Dan Blocker from Little House on the Prairie? Or no, what was that? Well, that wasn't Little House on the Prairie. That was Bonanza. Does anybody want to give me a Bonanza credit for this hat? Anybody? Anybody at all? Bonanza credit? Um, uh, if it was a little more pointed, maybe I could be a Mrs. Trump with this hat. BBB for barbecue wood. Whistling Bunghole says that this hat makes me look like one of the housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay. I could be a horse owner at the next Derby because I got my little fascinator on there. If I put a 10 badge on it, maybe I could be Buford T. Justice, or no, his hat was a little bit smaller than that. But anyway, hee haw, good suggestion. I could be any of the characters on hee haw. That was a good one. Oh, MJ says I could be one of the Crips and the Bloods. No, I'm red. I'd be a Blood. I think that's how that goes. I think the Crips are blue, maybe. I'm Almazo Wilder. I don't even know who that is. I don't know who that is. Almanzo Wilder. Could I be there's a lot of characters, Hispanic characters in old westerns that kind of wear these hats like this, sort of, kind of, maybe. So I could be any number of Pancho Villa, maybe. Anybody? Pancho Villa? Pancho Villa, baby. A sombrero. Now, I don't have the sombrero the size that Shiloh has. I'm sorry, Shiloh, but I have a small sombrero. You have the large sombrero. So maybe I was going for the Shiloh sombrero look. Let me take off my shirt. Oh, hold on. I'm not going to do that. Oh. Yeah, Don Coyote. Let me charge that windmill right now. I look like Laura from Little House on the Prairie. Laura Ingalls Wilder. He was the boyfriend of the girl. He was Manly on Little House on the Prairie. Well, no, there was a guy in Bonanza that kind of. Now I'm again. You got to take this hat in multiple colors, not just the gray. So, like, if this was a black one, or if it was more of the beige colored one, it'd be the Mexican sombrero kind of look. J.K. Pioneer thinks that I look like Mel Tillis and Cannon Ballera. No. I think he finally got over his stuttering problem. Lord, forgive me for making fun of Mel Tillis. Now, I really need a cheroot. I need a cheroot to bite off and spit out, put back in my mouth. If I had a cheroot, I think I could probably find a movie that had a Clint Eastwood in it. There's at least one Clint Eastwood movie where he's kind of wearing a hat like this, and I don't know if it's the good, the bad, and the not so beautiful, otherwise known as the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't know if it's that one or not, but I get it. Almonds Wilder was the boyfriend of Laura Ingalls. Well, I mean, if Almond Joy, what happened to Peter, Paul, and Mary? Two Mules for Sister Sarah. I was in that movie. Yeehaw! Alrighty then. I don't know if this hat could be seen as a feminine hat at all. Perhaps, but you gotta admit the way the guy got this hat shaped. I mean, these hats are almost perfectly shaped for that, for that look that you might be going for out there as a mountain man. You know, um, Grizzly Adams. Anybody remember the show Grizzly Adams? BJ and the Bear. Uh, BJ and the Bear. Uh, Two Mules for Sister Sarah is a Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, man, the volume of work that man did. So many movies, so many quality movies, like Unforgiven. Oh, I could be the guy that was that died in that movie, Unforgiven. Maybe. Uh, you stay cool like the other side of my pillow, Dave. Thanks for the show. Yeah, last night I woke up and I was like hot and I flipped my damn pillow over and it felt so good on the other side. You're right. There is nothing like the cool side of a pillow on a hot night. Absolutely. I mean, that's like one of the greatest gifts you can get in the middle of the night is to flip that pillow over and have the cool side against your face. Yeah. Or a supermodel next to you. Yeah. Either way, I was going to go down the cold route. Either way, you're going to get the cold shoulder. Oh, I'm still looking for my supermodel. My buddy and I realized that we're now 5 years ago. We should have been looking for women because you have to be like married 10 years before the wife can get survivor benefits. And so, like, if I would have got married when I was 55, I would have been really attracted to a lot of women because they're thinking, well, I've only got to put up with this guy for 10 years and then I can get his survivor benefits. Uh, you know, uh, oh, by the way, if there's any women out there that's single right now and they're starting to draw Social Security, hit me up. Wouldn't mind being married to you for 10 years. Well, as you can see, I got my hair cut for Fennboree. Okay, now you can start making the requisite bald jokes. Oh, we couldn't tell. Yeah, yeah, I'm looking for the cougars. I'm, I'm rare. I'm looking for the cougars. Oh, uh, Jeff says I need to wear it low and tight. Ma'am, I believe you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Oh, hold on. That was my hat. Trust is giving me the shiny. Hey, shiny. I'm serious. Clint Eastwood has worn this hat that looks like this in a number of different things. And he might even wore a hat that looked like this in the cattle drive thing that he did to start his career. Be careful, men. Oh, it's Rose from the Titanic. In this hat, was she? I could look like that one Molly. Oh my God, I look like the unsinkable Molly Brown from Titanic. I believe she was wearing a hat like this in the movie. I think unsinkable Molly Brown was wearing a hat like this. I actually, I do. I think she was. This thing's starting to annoy me. Yeah. Oh, this gives you a whole different look right here. This is kind of like some church women, maybe. I don't know. I think the most appropriate way I had this was when I had it like this. I think you got to have it just right and a little bit of an angle there. Uh, Watch out for the cougars. Yeah. I need a flower or something. Flower. I get my hand on the wrong side. I need a flower or something sticking up. Um, okay, so I killed 35 minutes talking about two hats. I think I've reached an all-time low. Well, anyway, this winter I'm going to try the napping stone thing out and see if I can actually, because I got like, I don't know, 8 or 10 samples of chert, and then I got the big tool, and I got some of the smaller flaking tools. I probably don't have all the tools I need. But anyway, after watching a few videos, I might be able to try to actually flake out a stone. I realize it'd probably take me 5 weeks to be able to perfect one that actually doesn't get broke the wrong way. But then on the other hand, I did buy 2 angle grinders today. I'll just do it the easy way. I don't know if you can actually flake a rock with an angle grinder, because the stone probably wouldn't come off right. It probably has to actually be flaked off in order to get the sharp edge. I don't know if you could just take a stone and start hitting it with an angle grinder and get the right deflection on it to make it sharp. But this guy's auction, he had all of the tools to take 1091 steel, flat bar, railroad spikes, and make knives. So he had all the equipment on this auction to actually make knives. Has anybody ever seen the show Forged in Fire? It was kind of popular for a few years. It kind of caught the drift of that whole mountain man thing. Uh, you know, do you remember the show Mountain Men? It was on like Discovery Channel, I don't know, quite a while back, right? And there for a while, the Discovery Channel and this other channel was really heavy into, these guys that lived off the grid, Alaska Bushmen, the Alaskan Bush people. Then there was the show about the Kilcher family, I think it was, in Alaska, the Kilchers. And one of the Kilcher's daughters is actually a country western singer, like changed her name. Is it Leanne Rhymes or something like that? That her real name is like she's a Kilcher in-law from Alaska. I don't know. Anyway, and so there was this not that was about 20 years ago. Jewel. Oh, Whistling Bunghole has the correct information. Jewel is the singer that's actually part of that family. But anyway, what I'm saying is that there for a period of time, it was all these shows like Forged in Fire was popular, and that show basically took people who operated a forge, brought them into a contest to make knives, and then after that, then if they went on, they'd make like a full big sword or a larger weapon. Sometimes they had these curved edge blade weapons. They made a whole bunch of interesting stuff on that show. And so, that this guy had a forge, he had the steel, the different things that if you wanted to do forging, you could do that as well. So anyway, it was kind of interesting, all the stuff that he had. And you're planning on becoming a professional sleeper with all that stone napping. Kiwi, that was clever. I must admit that was pretty clever. We putting that one together. Captain had a good one. I guess I missed that one. Cougars are fun for a few years, and at least they're upfront about what they want. Yeah, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. uh, and then tell me the truth. Okay. Yeah. I tell all the young guys that not for me anymore. I gave up for Lent. LOL. Well, that's I guess a good enough reason as any, right? There's a fish joke in here, but I'm not gonna go there. Oh, well, Ben was on last night. Gave us all the updates on the upcoming Fennboree. Uh, he's posted a couple of more musical challenges for those who are trying to solve the musical uh, element of his puzzle, if you will. Um, I think the biggest thing that happened last week was Justin. Justin almost got his pants on fire, and it's not because he was a liar. I mean, it's because there was a fire within like 30 yards of his family cabin up in like Montana and Wyoming. He just posted on his Facebook update the fact that the fire stopped just very close to, and it was saved. And you know, a fire that burnt thousands of acres suddenly stopped right at his cabin door. Lord, a miracle has happened. Kind of like the Vivash Mesa fire that the old family was able to put out with a few bulldozers. And an article in the now, I'm not saying you should sue over that Vivash Mesa fire. You probably shouldn't sue the Power and Light Company over something like that. Um, it was an act of nature, or not. Tree trimming, power lines, stuff like that, big settlements. I'm going deep in the weeds 1 week before Fennboree. Lord, I apologize for that indiscretion. Uh, just hope Posey uh, doesn't have a problem with the fire up there. Um, yeah, so the other thing was that Matt Dumas and Justin was interviewed by Emma at some round table get together. One of the producers from the Gold and Greed was on stage, and you know, I just about lost my shit over this. You know, you're hosting a treasure hunt, right? You're the focus of a treasure hunt, okay? And you're going to have on stage with you a person that had something to do with the movie. You're going to have a Cynthia character next to you. You're going to have a Luby. I don't even know what a Luby is. Luby used to be a restaurant. That's what it used to be. It's something different now. But anyway, you had all these people, and Forrest Fenn never went on stage with his book editor. Uh, and here's what was so disappointing. So I'm watching them watch the show last week, and I put in the comment section, this is so not like Forrest Fenn. He never had his editors and creative team talk about his book. And then I followed this up by saying, you know, Lou and Susan never were on stage with Forrest Fenn. And the person hosting this stream says, you mean Lou B? And I said, no, I'm talking about Lou Bruno and Susan Caldwell, who are listed in the front part of the book, The Thrill of the Chase, as people who he worked with in developing the book. I mean, could you just have the common decency to read the front cover of The Thrill of the Chase? And so you know actually who was involved in Forrest Fenn's bookmaking process? I don't even know if Cynthia could have answered that question correctly. she's so up in the beyond the map's edge treasure hunt now. But what I'm getting at is that for us people that were around and every detail of the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt was important, from Alan Polt, to Susan Caldwell, to Lou Bruno, to the mystery person who made the one image that's not accredited to anybody in the Thrill of the Chase, who we never found out, to Addison Doty, to who took the pictures of the Forrest Fenn chest sitting on the nice little, wood thing that it was sitting on. You know, for the people that were in the thing very deep and heavily, some of the new tubers that don't have all the information, they just rub me the wrong way. Now I realize that Justin's treasure hunt is outside of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. I mean, he's his own person; it's his own treasure hunt. But my point is, none of these people would have had a platform. None of these people would have even had any interest in what they're doing if it wasn't for the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. And the reason Forrest Finn's treasure hunt worked was because he was a different kind of person than the people doing these newer treasure hunts. And I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's different. And I'm saying that, at least you could know, it'd be nice to know that the genesis of where these people got their start and why they're even in the mainstream of the treasure hunt thing. But I mean, I almost, like I said, I almost lost my shit over that because there's a lot of us that looked at every single detail of what Forrest Fenn did and who he was and why his treasure hunt worked and why he had so much interest in it. I mean, by and large, he got his crowd, he got his message out by himself, not with a team of producers putting together a movie, not with a assistant book writer who wrote the whole or parts of the book or edited it. I mean, he got his life out to the world with a few interviews on NBC, a few interviews locally in Santa Fe, and he didn't need this big group of people on YouTube, this big media effort, to push something out there. But here's what was the most shocking thing about what Justin said during this interview. He said that he's surprised his treasure hasn't been found already. And he further said that he feels like somebody might be very close to finding it right now. So I did want to pass along that there was some real and instructive information in what they talked about when it comes to the progress of his treasure hunt and whether people are quote unquote breaking it down and figuring it out. You know, I secretly have done some investigation on Justin's treasure hunt. I haven't talked about everything I found out. I put a lot of it out when I took my trip to Alamogordo. What was it, a year ago now? And some of my thoughts on how the clues in his book line up. A lot of people are focused up north to his stories about life up there, but there's just as much information in that book about his parental life and his life in the South. And I'm just saying, I think there's some ideas that I've shown that I think are just as likely. Can you find what lives in time? Oh, hmm. Cynthia's girlfriend took the infamous picture. I'm not sure what infamous picture that is, but anyway, can you find what lives in time? Um, Me and I. Hmm. Hmm. Sophia Champion says the fly. Oh, Zozo's talking about hat tricks. I should have got a third hat for tonight, but the other two hats I have are just variations on this one, so I wouldn't have done much. Uh, Anson and Hourglass. Okay, so um, I hope to try to find the cryptid this next week when I go to Fennboree. Uh, and the cryptid is Shiloh. Uh, it's just as hard to find as a jackalope, uh, a Bigfoot, etc. Oh, by the way, I ordered a hat with a Bigfoot on it. If I go to the meetup in October in Wichita Falls, Texas, I'll be wearing that hat. I'll be wearing that hat to that meetup in Wichita Falls, and I might go to that meetup on the Treasure Quest um, if it's not found between by then. Uh, I might actually go to that one. Um, but I anyway. I mean, I should probably apologize to those people because I was pretty hard on them in their chat. But I mean, it for me, it rubs me the wrong way when people just don't fawn over themselves on and why their treasure hunt is working and why it's out there, how it all stemmed from that. And I guess you can say that once, you can say that twice, but um, I don't know. I just think they should say it every time. Yeah, but people, I guess, get old of them repeating that. But anyway, back to this. It might be found soon. I think that was some pretty interesting information coming from that. Um, I hope it. I mean, if it gets found before the meetup in Wisdom, how many people do you think will cancel their on the get together that they have planned at the up at the Grasshopper Inn if the Justin Posey treasure gets found between now and when that happens? Do you think people will still show up? I mean, it's an interesting test, if you will, to see if they would show up. Uh, the Grinkenator is in the house. How's it going, Grinkenator? How have you been? Captain's wondering if that's Greg. Well, there's so many Gregs out there, we'd have to figure out which Greg it is. Is it the good Greg or the bad Greg? Oh, yes, the good Greg, bad Greg. Uh, well, I've started a new series. I might start posting this on my YouTube channel. My new series is, pardon the French, Lazy Fuck of the Week. I think this could be a great series. So this week, the lazy crap head of the week is the guy at the service department at the Kubota store. Okay, so I got a Polaris. Ironically, Justin, I have a Polaris 500 four-wheeler. Well, anyway, I've got a Polaris 500 four-wheeler, and it's leaking gas out of the carburetor, right? And my neuropathy in my hands get to the point where trying to work on little fine, tiny stuff is kind of a pain anymore. And I can't find a nephew or anybody that wants to work on this. So I thought I'd take it to the service department at a Polaris shop. So I walk in there and say, hey, what do you think it would cost to replace a carburetor on a 2005 Polaris 500? And first of all, I had to talk to the parts guy because the service manager would never come up to the desk. There's two salespeople in this building sitting in offices over on the other side, right? And I walk in, there's no receptionist. I walk all the way through the lobby. The only person that pokes his head out is the parts guy. And I said, well, I need to talk to service manager because I was going to maybe hire you guys to put a carburetor on this vehicle or rebuild the carburetor. And, so the parts guy had to go get the guy first because he was hiding. His desk, there's a window here, and the desk for the service manager is Over here, you can't even just walk up and talk to the service manager. He doesn't have a chair in front of an open area. He doesn't have an office. He's hidden back there. Well, the parts guy runs back and gets him. Well, when I tell him, well, I don't even know if they make carburetors for that anymore. Okay, that was his first mistake. Because the parts guy said, after he said that, they never made or the complete carburetor is not even in the parts book, and it was made by a third party, and it's like $600. And so then he goes, well, we can maybe order the parts for it. So the parts guy then goes back to the shop and gets the technician, the guy that would actually work on it, to help him look up the parts. So first of all, the parts guy gets a partial nomination for the lazy fuck of the week, and because he had to go get so how it went was the service manager had the parts guy look up the parts. Parts guy couldn't figure out what parts he needed, so he went back to the shop and got the technician. Technician came up, opened up the page, showed him what parts he needed, stood there and pointed out what he would need to rebuild the carburetor, and then told me it'd be $150 an hour, and it'd probably take 2 hours to do the job. And the parts would be $300. So between the actual technician and the parts guy, I got a quote for like $650 to put a carburetor, to rebuild the carburetor on this bike. Well, while this has all happened, the service manager had already went back to his office and sat on his ass. Mr. Bolin, you, my friend, are the lazy fuck of the week. And they never did give me a quote. They never did give me a firm quote. So I went back to the internet, looked up what I could get a fully assembled aftermarket carburetor for, and it was like $50 on Amazon. And the review said that, well, 62% of the time you might get a carburetor that's going to work for you. And then sometimes you'll just get junk, but it's worth it to maybe try and get one of these aftermarket carburetors, because if you get a good one, it'll probably be just as good as the one you have on there. So I'm going to try and put it on myself, because I don't have to get the little tiny small parts. Because when you take a carburetor apart, there's like the jets, right? And I'm not talking about the jets and like West Side Story. I'm not talking about that kind of jets. I'm talking about these little needle. There's a seat valve, and then there's all these other little parts inside the carburetor. By the time then you got to have a spring, the float springs. You got to put on the seat. You got to put a certain order. The washer. Anyway, my eyesight, my neuropathy. I'm no longer rebuilding carburetors. So I just thought I'd put the whole carburetor on there and see what happens. Captain Kidd's believing they're going to win something. What are you preparing for? Oh, dishes and laundry. Those are laundry days tomorrow for me. Captain Kidd's wish me good luck on putting a different carburetor on there other than the stock factory one. Yeah, I know. It's kind of a roll of the dice, whether or not it's going to work or not. I'm hoping it works. Well, we don't use this four-wheeler that much. I just want to keep it. I just want to move it down here where I live, and then I can spray around the buildings when I want. Maybe you need a petcock valve on it. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, the whole entire thing. You can't. Here's the kicker: you can't buy a rebuild kit for a Polaris carburetor. You'd think you could just buy a whole rebuild kit and have all that stuff in it. The whistling bunghole, in an inquisitive nature, wants to know, what day is make the bed day? Yeah, pretty sad. I don't actually make my bed very often. Usually, make the bed day is the day I wash all the sheets and the mattress topper thing and the pillows. I wash everything, and I put it all back on. I usually put the pillows together real nicely, and then I tuck them under the sheet, and then I put the top on, and then I tuck it under, and I have my bed made, and that's about it. That's about it. That's the day. That's the day. Uh, but hey, look, I'm gonna I'm gonna film a short video of this room, and I'm gonna put something on the wall back there that says like freshman year is gonna be the best. I'm gonna order a poster and put it up there that says the freshman year is going to be the best. And then I'm going to post the video and tell people how I now decorated my dorm room. I may have to move in a couple of milk carton crates, uh, a board or two, a couple of cinder blocks, just to make the aesthetic feel like it was when I went to college. But I was watching this news report of people spending, $5,000 to decorate the dorm room. Matching sheets for the bunk beds, right? For the roommate, who turns out to be a serial killer. But anyway, they go to all this work just to do their room up now. All these people are posting on Facebook their kids' college dorm rooms. Don't these parents realize those kids aren't going to be spending any time in those dorm rooms? You need to be going down to the strip of bars and asking your kid which one they're going to hang out in for the next 4 years. So you're going to be at Kite's the next 4 years. You're going to be at the Last Chance Saloon. Where should I come pick you up? MJ loves pillows. Grenkinator's college room was set on fire by your neighbor. That's rough. So sleeping on a floor easy. How many pillows does a bed need? Well, I mean, I have 4 pillows on my bed here. How many pillows do I use? 1. And then I flip it over, as Steve Klein said earlier, and I use the cool side. And then I usually toss that one to the other side of the bed, pull over another one because it's got 2 cool sides, and then I repeat that 4 times through the night. I always have a cool pillow. In the spirit of talking about pillows, does anybody know what George Washington Irving's last words were? His last words were, "I must adjust my pillows. I'm going to bed now. I must adjust my pillows." It's famous, the last words of Julius Irving. There's a website that is really interesting, and it's famous last words. What was people's famous last? You can Google it, famous last words, and it's pretty interesting because I think one guy died, and he said that the famous, either this is on his epitaph or it's on his tombstone, but like Frank Sinatra's famous last words are on his tombstone. It says, "I did it my way." Uh, I wish I'd lived to do the things I'm attributed to. Is that where we've been for the last 6 years? I mean, seriously, is that where we've been for the last 6 years? I wish I would have lived to do the things I'm attributed to. It kind of makes you wonder that if the actual book, The Thrill of the Chase, had a indicator or had a way in which you would know that you might not get an answer, that nothing is as it seems. That there might be a cooling off period. Who would have thought it was 6 years? I mean, the volcanic ash, the volcanic lava doesn't take 6 years to cool, you know. And there's plenty of examples of that in New Mexico. Uh, oh my God. Oh, that's so sad. Well, Treasure Warriors has just kind of brought a sad note to the chat here. Uh, Amy Seeks apparently passed away on July 27th. That is really sad. Um, Maybe we could do something at Fennboree to honor Amy Seeks. Amy Seeks, and since she's passed, I'm going to give you my really fond memory of Amy Seeks. So I'm going to the very first. I'm going to the very first Fennboree that I ever went to, and I really kind of didn't know how this went, right? And I walk up to this table, and there's somebody sitting there. There's like this Amy sitting there. Didn't know who she was, and there was somebody else sitting there, and they were handing out name tags. And I think they actually had a book that they were having everybody sign. And and I said, "Oh, okay, this sounds like a great idea, or whatever." And all right, but I got to find a specific page, and so I, talked to her. I don't know, just a minute or two about what page to sign and this kind of thing. But she was really involved in wanting to make sure everybody had a good time, or at least had a name tag, had a chance to sign this book that they were going to have a raffle for. And I just have, really good feelings about that interaction. And then when she started doing her YouTube shows, I thought they were really interesting, had a great way to run a show, had a great personality about it. Anyway, so truly a tragedy. Truly, I mean, truly sad, because I don't think she was all that old. But anyway, um, oh, anyway, so Cynthia posted an 8 boots on the ground video, and at the end she puts a screenshot up of Amy with text saying, "Amy." Oh man, that's sad. Well, it just just goes to show you that you just never know, and you might lose your best friend. You might somebody you uh, thought would not pass, and all this kind of stuff. But so I'm sure people here would like to know: is there any numbers? Somebody asked earlier. Any numbers on what the final head count might be at the upcoming event on the 21st? Oh, and by the way, since you're here, I have a two burner propane grill that kind of works, and I'll bring it, but I won't be there till 2 on Saturday. So, anyway. Yeah, I think getting the word out is great on that. The Greekinator wishes they could go to an event. Well, there's so many across the country. Uh, you know, Treasure Quest has one. Uh, Justin has one. There's one in Kentucky. There's one in Wichita Falls. One in North Dakota. I haven't heard of any real searcher meetups on the West Coast or anything like that, but Zozo's adding that his wife died at 54 from pneumonia. Yeah, well, my dad didn't make it much past 65, and we didn't. So we're now thinking like maybe 100 or 150. Could be 75. Well, anyway, somebody asked a question earlier, so it's good to get that answer. Uh, yeah, well, I tested it tonight. I just bought it at an auction yesterday. I tested it tonight. It seemed to work okay. Um, and I did order a new grill plate for it. I should get that by Wednesday. So I should have a new top that's virgin, not used, but seasoned. So anyway, it should be pretty good. It's one that's not very big. It's just a two burner one. It's made by Camp Chef. You can still get them at like Dick's and places like that. But it's a modular thing. It comes up completely apart. You take the legs out. You can literally carry it in a suitcase. So it's not a very huge one, but it travels well, easily anyway. So well, uh, the last time I had food on a grill was when the last Ethel Cain album released. I don't even know when that was. So I have no idea. But I tested it tonight. I went and got a bottle of propane, hooked it up, and lit it. And so I mean, it worked. So anyway, all right, folks. I've been on for my hour and 11 minutes. I've officially met my commitment to Chase Inc. Any last thoughts on this hat? Or this hat? Which hat should I show up wearing? I'm the cat in the hat. Oh, you think I should bring all of my hats? If you really wanted, I could bring the straw hat in the back. The one that was made in Florida, it's sitting right there. Oh, Zozo's now giving me a Tom Petty. He's giving me a Tom Petty. Uh, uh, well, earlier today, when I started the show, I was asking suggestions on who this hat made me look like, and I just thought of the cat in the hat. But anyway, uh, trust the living saint. Uh, Yarmoki. Uh, I don't think I have. I actually. I don't think I have a pirate hat. But anyway. Uh, oh, you're looking for a bi-curious cat in the hat. Okay. Meow. Oh. Well, on that note, since I'm getting the Tom Petty vibes now, and Zozo queued it up, uh, that, that's, I think that's going to be the last, that will be the formal last action of tonight's show. If anybody wants to go on now, please, I will give you like a minute or two to post it in the chat, just so we can all get caught up and go on to some other fun and exciting things. Uh, uh, oh, Grenkinator's going to make that meow message tone. If you want to get the best cat's meow, you need to watch some of the old Batman uh, from the early Batman with Catwoman, because she does a perfect imitation of a cat. Oh, MJ's giving me the cat. Thanks. No, I'm serious. I don't know who the actress was that played Catwoman, but the Catwoman in the Batman and Robin. Oh man, she has that raspy voice to just do all of the sounds that a cat makes. Oh, Captain Kids, wish me the best of luck. Thanking me for the lack of entertainment. Good to see you, Sophia. Thanks for everybody that joined in tonight. Thanks so much for coming over. This might be my last show ever. Uh, okay, you can now play, ladies and gentlemen. You can now play that clip of me last year when I said I was quitting the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, and then you can play the clip of me uh, the year before that said I was giving up on the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, and then you could go back and play the clip from 3 years ago where I said I'd had it with the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. I think I've given up on the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt so many times. Uh, when somebody's got a post in the room, he'll be back. He can't give it up. I always get, oh, hoof, hoof, you're coming in late. Show's almost over. Hoof says, I thought I thought put it that. Oh, the Grinkinator said if I stopped, there'd be a psychotic break. Yours or mine? Oh. Oh, Zozo's got the information. TV Cat woman was Julie Newman. Or Newmar. I was going to say Newman. Newman. Uh, Newmar. Newmar. I thought what did that? My new gig is going to be a voiceover for the old cartoons. Okay, well, thanks so much. Nobody posted that they were going to go live, so I guess this will be it for tonight. I appreciate everybody that joined in. If I can do a live stream from, if we could get cell service and do a live stream from Fennboree, that could be a lot of fun. But I don't know if we'll be able to get anything. See, you can move the brim on this hat just a little bit, and you can get a totally different look. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has Starlink. Oh, by the way, I saw Bill posted. I think he had 8 puppies. Um, so if you were on baby watch for Bill, and Jill, Jill had the litter. So anyway, the hoof actually did see the putty tat. Okay, folks, thanks for joining in. Hope to see everybody next week, if there is a next week. And I learned this today. I'll give you this as my final thought. While we're always on Earth waiting for tomorrow, if you lived in outer space, how would you know if there was a tomorrow? Because our tomorrow is based upon being on the planet Earth where we have a 24-hour day. If you're randomly in space on a different orbit than what we are, tracking ourselves around the sun, how would you know when tomorrow would be?